recording. All right, Eric, man. Hey, thanks for coming in.
No problem.
I got to say, you were probably the most delightful person I met during the holiday shopping this year. We were at Half Moon Outfitters, ran into each other, and all of a sudden started talking about art. How did we start talking about art to even begin with?
I think we was talking about shoes first, right?
Yep, it was
and
definitely.
then I don't know. It just went to paintings, and I was like, "Oh, I paint." And I showed you some paintings, and you was like, "Oh yeah, that was nice."
And the conversation took off.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a good time.
Yeah.
So let's talk about what got you into art and painting to begin with.
So when I was young, I used to see my older brother paint, and I was like, "Oh, I want to paint." So I tried, never could paint. So I used to take like paper and put it on the TV and trace it. And then I run to him. I'd be like, "Oh, look what I just drew." And he'd be like, "You ain't draw that. You traced it." So I was like, one day I'm going to learn how to draw. So I just started like taking paper when I was in class, just drawing and drawing and drawing. And then I was like, "Oh, I'm pretty good at drawing." So I went to school. I said, I'm a majored in art. Never liked to really paint for real though. I just like to draw. So I just started drawing, and I was like, maybe I'll paint one day. So I started painting, and my first painting sold for like $160. And I was like, "You really gonna buy this for $160?
It's a weird feeling.
Good feeling, right?
Somebody
Yeah.
buys your stuff. Yeah.
So I was like, okay, maybe I need to paint. So I just started painting from there.
So how did you find your style? We've got some of your stuff up. Like, how did you find? You got you brushing your teeth too. Like, how did you figure out that was your style? Was it a technical thing, or was it because of speed? And that's a great shot down there. That is so cool. Yeah. Like,
So
what led to
really-
your style, because you have a distinct style.
So really, I wasn't the type to like, when it comes to painting, I can do like detailed paintings, but it take too long. So I was like, I need to find a way to paint quicker and get money. So, and when I realized I wasn't doing any prints, I was like, oh, I can't be painting for 4 hours and then I got 5 paintings to do. I need to find a way to only paint 20 minutes and I can knock all 5 of them out within an hour or two. So I started, painting my canvases black. And I was like, maybe if I go over it with gray or white and focus on the eyes, I can still get the detail of the picture and people will still know who the person is if it was a person. So from there, it just took off.
See, how old are you?
I'm 32.
32. So when I was 32, I was working on matte paintings, which was all digital paintings, but they would take me a month, forever,
Oh my God.
and then wouldn't sell them. So that was a terrible business model. So you were smarter, much faster than
Well,
than
the
I
funny
was.
thing is with the map painting is I built a 3D scene of my childhood room, and I map painted it in Photoshop and printed it and put it in the emerging artist competition. And I priced it. We're like, I want that. Like, I framed it. I'm like, this could be awesome at home. I'm just gonna put it up, and somebody bought it, and it's the same way I felt like you did. Like, you want to buy it? I'm like,
Right. I was like,
I'll print another one, balls.
$160 for this?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, crazy.
That's and it's cool to watch your little speed ramps too of painting them.
Yeah.
And see how it comes together, how it starts blank and it just all comes together.
Yeah,
It's a
so
lot of fun watching that.
that's what I try to focus on. So
Are you doing this full time now, or tell me?
no, I plan on doing it full time. So I started, which is not an LLC yet, but a little business called Titus Art by Erick. And I try to, right now it's running just off of like social media and word of mouth. I'm working on a website this year, so hopefully that be up in the next 2 months or so. But really it's just like, I like to paint. So at one point I would just paint a picture to give away. Like, I paint a person a picture and be like, here, take it for free.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, yeah, I can give you a free picture, but it's going to be a smaller canvas.
Yeah, yeah.
Now that people started,
Because that'll pinch on your overhead.
Oh,
That's
yes.
rough. Man, I had a lady in here, a friend of mine named Aletha, and she was a museum curator in Norfolk, Virginia. She was here last Friday, and she wants to do an artist roundtable where she just bring in creatives talk about ways to manage your brand. Don't undersell yourself. Don't give stuff away. You've got to come, dude. We're going to send you an invite. I'd love for you to come and just listen to what she has to say.
See, that's my problem. I know I undersell
Yep.
my items a lot, but it's not about, to me, it's not about the money. It's about somebody having a piece of artwork that I did and they hanging it up in their house and people going like, oh, who did that? Like, oh, Titus Art did it.
Yeah.
So I know I do it a lot.
I do it too. I mean, I work
Everyone
on it all
does
the
it.
time. I've got same problems.
I mean, even I had a company years ago, and I think that was my biggest problem, was just underselling it. I look back now with experience and realize what I was giving away. I mean, it really was just giving away. And I always went through that mindset of like, this is what I'm going to charge. And didn't really know what I should charge. So I thought it was high. That wasn't even high to begin with. And then I'd get a little bit nervous and I'd drop it. And basically then you're just giving it away.
Correct.
You know?
That's
and,
how I am.
and when you give it away, people don't appreciate it as much either.
Right.
That's the other part of it. So, yeah, I mean, this stuff's awesome. It's funny. I think when we were talking, we did start talking about shoes because you were a sprinter in college.
Yes, I ran track, and then I was training for the Olympics, and then COVID hit.
That's right.
It took all of that away.
Oh man.
So what was that like getting ready for that?
Oh,
Leading up to it?
so it used to be wake up, practice, take a nap, eat, practice, take another nap, eat, practice. It was fun. I mean, I went pro in 2018. I ran that U.S. versus the world, which is in Pennsylvania, which is called Penn Relays. One of the biggest track meets in, I guess, America. It was pretty good. I met a couple of people, ran against a couple of people. I was just, about to get up there, and then COVID came and took all that away. But when you have a mindset of training every day, so I had like a part-time job because I couldn't really work. So I was training every day, running. And then, boom, COVID come. And you wake up and it's like, what do I do? Well, I can't train, can't go to a track meet, can't do nothing. Then that's when I said, well, I might as well just paint all day. And then that's when I just started painting. And I said, well, I guess this is my second career.
Genie's out of the bottle at that point, right?
Right. So I started painting, bettering myself because I was only painting for a year. And then, but I was drawing for a while, but I was only painting for a year because I never really liked to paint. I would draw a picture and paint it. Now I just paint it. I don't even draw the picture. So I get a canvas and I just paint. If I mess up, which I don't, I mess up. But I say out of the time I've been painting, I only messed up once.
That's what I was going to ask you. What your workflow was? Do you draw it out, but you just
I just
get
paint.
to it?
Yeah, I just paint. So I look at something or I picture it in my head and try to remember what I seen and paint. So, like a couple of people say, oh, they will order like 3 or 4 pictures from me of the same thing, and none of the pictures will look the same. And they would be like, why this picture look different, this one? And I say, oh, I forgot how it looked the first time. I just try to go off the top of my head. But you can equal it to each other and say, oh, yeah, it's the same thing. But one may be closer. One may be far back. One may be just a different color. And that's what I like best about my work. Like, everything is original. Nothing is printed.
And so how long does it take you generally for one painting?
20 minutes.
20 minutes. That's crazy,
Crazy,
man.
man.
That is crazy.
20
I
minutes.
know people that will noodle for weeks. Just
Are you a perfectionist?
No.
No. Okay.
that's rare though, because I know a lot of talented people who will nitpick, and never turn content. And we've talked about this for years. But eventually, you got to let it go.
Yeah, it's better
That's a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
But apparently not for you. You just kick it out the door at 20
Yeah, I
minutes.
do it and say, oh, it look good. I get one approval. I ask my fiance, is this good? She say, oh, yeah, it look good. All right, time to go.
Is that partly because of the challenge too? Like setting the time?
Yes, because
Is that part of it too?
that's
So you
something I need to
can't
work
spiral?
on. Yeah, because like me, I love to paint. So if someone buy a painting, I say, oh, you have it today. And they'll be like, you have it at 4 o'clock.
Yeah,
And it could be 3 o'clock. And I'm like, all right, let me get home. Let me paint this picture. Let me go take it to this person.
That's crazy.
Well, but you know what's funny about that is like the fact that when you put restrictions on yourself, sometimes that's the best work. And we were just shooting last month, and as always, the first shot takes like 4 hours, and then you cram 15 shots in the last hour because that's just the way it works. But it's when we had Clyde with us and everything too. We would roll into this one shot like, all right, to get back on schedule, we got 15 minutes to set up lights, get talent, and shoot this thing. And those are some of the best shots that we got because everyone's just like so hyper focused, and like I think it took the ability of what if
Right.
out of it a little bit, where it was like there's not that many options. This feels right, go in that direction,
Right.
and you just follow it through. But yeah, it's funny. I'll show you some of those pictures sometimes. Like you can look at the ones that took longer, and they're still great. But then I think there's more life in the ones we caught in those little 15-minute sprints. And honestly, by the third day, I was just throwing a few of those in there just to push everyone and kind of get the adrenaline flowing. You know, it's cool.
Are you mostly acrylic? I mean, what are you painting with?
So acrylic, yes, that's what I mostly do because it's not messy.
Yep.
And it's easier. But I did a couple of oil paintings. I did one rainbow. I think it was Rainbow Row in Charleston. I did that one, and that was one of the paintings that sold like big. And I was like, only if I like oil paint,
Yeah.
I keep doing them.
Well, this one's interesting. You worked color into the background in this one.
Yeah. So I to be honest, I messed up on that one. It's supposed to just been the color in the background, and then I said, well, I might as well draw myself. So I just painted myself.
That's the nice thing about acrylic is that, you can paint right over top
Yeah.
of it, let it dry, and you start over.
Have you played with watercolors, which to me is so backwards for me? Like I struggle with leave the light and then shades of darkness. Like it's hard for me because like with oil paints, you can kind of mess it up and come in later. Like
See, some of my paintings I did shade, and then most of them I just say, it depends on if a person order it. Now, if a person order and they say, I want shade and I want color, then I'm going to make sure I do it. But if you don't.
I need you to tell me what's going on in this one.
Oh, so.
How did you do that?
So, that's a painting I did of myself. And I was like, how could I get this painting to move? So I started messing around with like, what was that? It was something on the Apple computer. I can't even remember. And I got it to move, and I was like, oh, snap. I brought the painting to life.
yeah. See, I was thinking Puppet Tool and After Effects.
Yeah. So you know what's funny about that is that same thinking is what got David Lynch started in movies. I don't know if you know who David Lynch is. He's an older director, but he was a big painter. That was his thing. He was a painter. And he had a thought one day. He's like, how can I make this painting move? I think he saw something out of the corner of his eye when he was looking at his painting. He's like, I wish I could make that move. And that's what got him started with like stop animation, stop motion, and that led to a full career.
Really?
In cinema. Yeah. That's cool, man. That's
I
really
was
cool.
just playing around. I was like, oh.
Curiosity. It may kill the cat, but it makes really cool creative.
Yeah.
Have you done any mural work like Biggs? Have you thought about that? Or
So, no, that's one thing I really want to do. Excuse me. So, I've been talking to, I think his name is Ken, up there at the marketplace. I think he owned a couple of the stores and stuff. So we talked about, putting some work up on a couple of the walls. So I said, oh yeah, that'd be nice. So they just, wait until the time right. So that would be my first one.
that would be cool.
yeah.
I'd like to see you do that.
So what do you look at in 3 years? Like, where do you want to be with your art?
So, y'all might laugh.
I'm not going to laugh.
I doubt it.
So in 3 years, I want to be able to say I did something that nobody ever did, and that's painting every picture by hand without doing any prints. Second, I want to be able to leave something for like children that think, oh, art is just art. Because I was going to school, I majored in art. I got a master's in fine art. And the person told me, you ain't going to be nothing but an art teacher. And then I started thinking like, oh, maybe you're right. I'm not going to be nothing but an art teacher. I'm doing all this school just to come out and be an art teacher. So I want to change people's minds. Like as I was running track, I wanted to change people's minds. They would say, "Oh, you bony, you're not a sprinter." Da, da, da. And then I started making my way up to the pros, and then they were saying, "Oh, okay, maybe I could." So the same way with art, I want people to look at it in a different way, other than just being an art teacher or an illustrator or something like that. So that's what I'm pushing to do. So eventually I'm gonna start having classes at the marketplace for like children from the age of 3 all the way up to, you could be 99. It don't matter. Teaching people the basics of painting. Because everybody say, "Oh, I can't paint." But if I teach you 5 ways, you would say, "Oh, you the best painter ever."
Huh. Yeah, that's cool. What what is your favorite? Like, do you have any favorites of your art?
Everything's my favorite.
Everything?
But really, I have one. It's called which is pretty good. It's called
I think they're all pretty good.
appreciate it. Man Sitting on the Moon.
Was that Sean Taylor I just saw down
Oh
there?
yeah, that was Sean
Okay.
Taylor. Man Sitting on the Moon. I did I think I did about 5 of those.
Do you know where is it on here?
It should be. It may be farther down. That was one I did a while back. And I haven't did it again because no one haven't ordered. But
Is your place full of paintings? Like, are you just
it
stacked
was.
full- Yeah,
It was
yeah.
at one point. It was at one point.
That's
so
funny.
the table, that one right there, go down beside the Black Panther to the left. Mm-hmm. The
Where
man
my-
sitting
Oh
on
yeah,
that.
with some color there.
So I did a canvas of that one, and then I painted my table.
And that one?
So that's my kitchen table.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I did a canvas, and I think I sold 5 of those to a couple of science teachers in Charlotte. And then I said, let me paint my table.
Do many people have painted tables like that? That could be a niche too.
Yeah. I had a couple of people wanting to buy it.
Yeah.
I had a couple of
Huge
people.
conference table, just get a huge piece of like nice plywood and just
Yeah.
shape it to whatever size. You can come paint this one.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite painting right there.
Do
I
you-
like that one.
The funny thing about art like that is the right person seeing it at the right time. You could sell it for a significant amount of money. The whole
Yes.
trick is putting yourself in that situation where the right people see.
Correct.
Do you have a preference of working black and white versus color?
I think I like the black and white better, but I throw some color in there sometimes. It depends on if I just feel like painting for a while.
Is there a different workflow? So
Yeah,
is there-
what
okay.
color it is. I have to do it. I go over it probably 3 or 4 times with color.
Okay. Yeah, man, this stuff's great. I would love to see you get into teaching too. You have a perfect disposition for it. I think people would really react and respond well to you teaching.
Appreciate it.
You know what I'd like to see? I mean, you do a lot of pretty influential people.
Yeah.
And I think it would be interesting with some of the people I've seen on there, like we were talking earlier about the lyrics, but if you had somebody that could do spoken word from that person while you painted it, I think it'd be a cool spot, like just 3 minutes or a minute
Yeah.
of it, creating it with what made it. It's cool, man.
Yeah. What's the correlation, or are there any, between being a pro runner and being an artist?
That's why you do it so fast.
I think I just do it because I'm impatient. So I'm impatient. I like stuff to be done. I like stuff to be done when I say, "Oh, I want this. I want it to be done." That's why I don't like to shop offline, because I want it right then when I spend my money. So when it comes to my paintings, if you order something and you give me money, I'm gonna get it done, because you gave me something that you could be, spending on a bill or something that's important, but you giving me money to support me. So I'm like, okay, you gave me this. I'm gonna make sure I get it done. No ands, buts about it. And if I can't get it done, you're gonna have it first thing in the morning.
That's cool.
It's awesome.
What's the dream project? Like, if someone called up today and was like, "Hey, I got this project. You can do whatever you want to do." Like, what is that
man.
project?
I would say just really just getting my name out there. Just letting people know Titus Art by Erick. Like, if they told me to paint a little picture on a can and I can put my signature Titus Art by Erick, I'm gonna be happy to do that. If people see that, I'm gonna be happy. So it's just about getting my name out there, really.
You know what we should do? Let's talk to Tom and everybody when they have a big event here at the mill. Maybe we just open up the doors like springtime, and you can just hang your stuff all throughout here, and just we can like get little spotlights and stuff for it, and just have people come in.
Oh yeah,
and check it out. That'd be fun. I mean, it's not gonna be the perfect break, but it's this place does fill up. I mean, we have vehicles all the way down to that last end of the building.
That's good.
In spring, so like people, there's some definite foot traffic. It'd be cool to pull everyone in and do that. So,
being new to Canopolis, so I'm like, got to make a name for myself.
For me, the trick is always want to do what I think's cool, and then have everybody value that. Not have a client say, "I want this," and then there's that back and forth.
See, so one thing I'm gonna do this year is get another person to, speak for me, because I am too nice. I'm way too nice. So say if someone want a picture, right? What I used to do when I first started, I would send them a picture of every step. I would paint something, send a picture, paint something else, send a picture. And then I was like, I can't keep doing that, because I had some people would say, oh yeah, I like that. And then I moved to the third step, and they'd be like, oh, I like that. And then I moved to the fourth step, and then they say, oh, I don't like the first one. And I'm like, well, I can't go back and change it, but I would go back and change it. Like, I'd be like, okay, you don't like it, let me go back and change it. And then do the steps all over again.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can't keep doing that, but it's just me. That's just me. I want people to be happy from something that they get from me. I don't want them to just send it off and they say, oh, I don't like this, and it's no refund.
See, I feel like when your brand's strong enough, they just want something from you and won't be hammering you on those details. They'll want your stuff, and that's where,
Well, it's also the difference of commercial art versus art.
Right.
Right. And there's a different expectation going in. When you buy an artist painting, you're buying the name. You don't have a say, but you're buying the final product.
Like real, fine art.
When it's commissioned from the beginning, it becomes a little bit more commercial art, and it's a little bit trickier to retain that.